Good morning, algebra. So today I want to start our next unit, which is all about linear equations. Very similar to the functions that we've done. Basically, big picture, everything that we talk about this unit is a line. Whether you're graphing it or whether we're looking at the equation itself, we are talking about lines. So with that being said, when you graph a line, there are certain numerical things that control the line, numerical values that control what the line actually does, what the graph looks like. And one of those is this thing called slope. We're going to be spending the next couple of days talking specifically about slope and how it affects the graph, what the graph looks like, and then numerically how to find the slope. But first things first, I thought it would be kind of nice to look at some lines and kind of discuss what this slope does and how it functions. So one thing that I remember from when I was in algebra was my teacher said, "Oh, slope, that's rise over run," and then just kind of glossed over what that meant. So what I want to do is kind of explain to you what this concept of rise over run means. Two things. It means that our slopes are going to be fractions. We're going to have a numerator and a denominator. And what those two pieces, the numerator is the rise and the denominator is the run, what those actually mean. So you need to be able to know the difference between horizontal and vertical. Horizontal is left and right, and vertical is up and down. When I ask you to find the slope of a line from a graph, which is all we're doing today, you need to be able to count between 2 points. You're going to count the vertical distance and the horizontal distance between the 2 points that I give you. So I'm not necessarily, at least today, I'm not going to give you the points, the actual coordinates. I'm going to give you a graph, but I've graphed those 2 points there. So we're literally going to count the vertical distance between the points and the horizontal distance between the points. So one thing you need to keep in mind is if you count down, that is a negative value, and left, that is also a negative value. So if you count down or left, negative values. If you count up and right, those are positives. So the way I do these, and you can do it differently, but I always start like you read left to right. I read my graph left to right also. So I'm going to start, sorry about that. I'm going to start at the leftmost point. I'm going to start here and I'm going to finish down here. I'm going to start at that first point and I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units down. So I'm going to make that a -5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right. So that's a +4. The slope, and we always use the variable m, slope for this line is -5/4. That's it. You don't have to change that to a mixed number. It's not going to be -1 1/4. Just leave it -5/4. All right, next one. And these will go pretty quick once you kind of see them. So again, starting at the leftmost point, and then I'm going to finish at this one. Starting here, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 units up, and then 1 unit over. Now what you can do if you want to is make that a whole number. I don't want any mixed numbers. So improper fractions are okay where there's a bigger numerator than a denominator. So if you want to leave that 4/1, that's fine. If you want to change it to a whole number, that's fine, but no mixed numbers. Now this one here is a little bit different since it's vertical. It doesn't matter which one you start at or which one you finish at. But again, you're going to count the vertical distance. So vertically, I'm going to move 2 units up. And then how far do I have to move left and right to get from one to the next? I don't move any units left and right. Now, that's a huge no-no in math. You cannot divide by 0. This fraction actually does not exist. You'll see this symbol a lot, circle with the slash through it. It means does not exist. It's also called no slope, or another one is undefined. Personally, I'm a fan of undefined. That means it does not exist. It's not defined. You can't put a definition on it. It's not a thing. So those slopes are undefined. A little more to the point, though, every single vertical line, you're not going to have that horizontal movement from point to point. So every single vertical line is going to have that same undefined slope. We'll talk about that more when we start talking about parallel lines, though. All right, last two. Same thing. I've got a point to start at, a point to finish at. I always start at the farthest left, and then I work my way to the right. So I'm going to move down 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So my slope is -4, and then 2 to the right. Now, if you want to, and I expect you to, honestly, that is a reducible fraction. You can make that -2. You can make it a whole number. No mixed numbers. Whole numbers are okay. All right, last one, start and finish. I'm starting here. I'm going to count down 0 units. Whoops. And then 1 unit to the right. Okay, that does exist. That has a value of 0. The slope is 0.